And usually where I'm flying, if this is the flight controls, I'm staring out of the aircraft looking this way through the heads-up display. I'm Major Riley Feeney, an AC-130J evaluator pilot, and this is everything I bring with me on a flight. This right here is probably the second most important thing. This is my helmet and oxygen mask. We utilize this in order to communicate on the aircraft as well as get our oxygen. The AC-130J primarily flies depressurized, so we're on the oxygen mask in order to get supplemental oxygen. The entire crew wears these whenever we are employing live fire, whether we're doing the guns or PGWs.
So what kind of features are on the helmet?
It's got a lip light right here. It's green so that I can get look at my Kneeboard or any other thing that I have I'm trying to get information from. Additionally, up here is a night vision device mount in order so that whenever we're employing at nighttime, I've got a good idea of what is happening on the ground and what's happening outside of the aircraft.
What does lip light mean?
So a lip light's called a lip light because I'm able to use my lip in order to push this button right here in order to turn it on whenever I'm flying, keep my hands free so I can continue to fly the aircraft. This right here is a finger light. I wear it on my middle finger, but other people wear it in different positions, but it's just push activated and it gives us a green light in order to help protect our night vision when we're flying at night. Whenever I'm filling things out on the Kneeboard, quick turn this on, scribble down whatever I need to scribble down. It keeps me informed, as well as it allows me to do scans around the cockpit whenever we've got thing pitched black in there, just to check to see if everything is as it should be. I fly with probably 3 or 4 of these just in case the battery fails, and I've got another way to pop this up. This, in conjunction with the lip light, allows us to keep a totally blacked out cockpit when we fly and not give our position up because of a highlighted cockpit. Yet again, like I was telling you, with the majority of the objects at this point in my career, they're more like Lucky Charms or things that remind me that I am completely decked out and ready to go. That's why I like the finger light. To go along with the helmet and the night vision goggle mount, or the night vision goggles themselves, we utilize these whenever I'm flying the aircraft. I'm looking out of the side heads-up display and looking at the projections that it puts on the ground. I'm able to see the friendly force as well as the enemy force utilizing these guys at night, and it's an incredible addition to my situational awareness to have these be present. You're able to adjust the filter here, but there's no real magnification that these provide. Simply, I'm just able to take a God's eye view of the battle space and then make assessments and decisions as the leader of the crew, whether or not to prosecute a target or whether to wait an additional section, or whether or not I'm friendly for following the helicopters or the friendly ground assault force.
Why would a pilot wear night vision goggles?
I can use my Mark I eyeball during the daytime, but I don't have the ability to see it during the night, so this really helps me. On our aircraft, we have 2 sensors, but we consider the aircraft commander to be the 3rd sensor. And the large scale or scope with which they're overseeing, they don't have the granularity that our sensor operators are able to see, but we're able to make better decisions on being able to see the entirety of the battle space, and that's what makes it really important and why these guys are super valuable at night. Also, these things are super useful to see tracer fire, so if people are shooting rounds 50 miles away, these guys give us a really good beat of, hey, something's going on over there that our sensors might not be able to see. And usually where I'm flying, if this is the flight controls, I'm staring out of the aircraft looking this way through the heads-up display. Probably the most important thing I bring on any flight with me is the electronic flight bag. This is an iPad that's utilized in order to contain all of my pubs, as well as everything that I utilize to do instrument approaches, both here and abroad and anywhere in the world. If I take this with me and I get it fully synced, I'm able to go pretty much anywhere in the world, and I have external batteries that I use to charge this if I'm staying on an exceptionally long flight. But this right here keeps me legal, safe, and also able to fly in any weather condition.
What does pub mean?
Oh, a pub is a publication, so there are DoD publications, Air Force regulations, Air Force instructions, and manuals that are all required for flight. If there's ever a question about any situation we get into, whether we're legal to do something or whether or not we need to call to higher headquarters, this will inform me of who I need to contact and how I need to contact them. In addition to that, it has all of our flight tech orders, which are the checklist we follow in order to conduct flight. And if we follow the checklist, we remain legal to fly.
How long have you guys used iPads?
So we've been using iPads for as long as I've been in Air Force Special Operations Command, since 2016. But they've been using them, I think, as early as 2012. The next thing up that we have is just a standard normal David Clark headset. This one is one of the fancy models that comes with noise canceling, so I can save myself a little bit of hearing loss and keep me flying for longer. These ones are traditionally used for day flying or whenever we're doing pilot proficiency training, just as a simpler, smaller version than having to wear this entire helmet and headset. It also provides a redundant means for us to have communication within the aircraft in the event that my headset in the helmet fails. So always carry a spare. That's good for not only flying, but also for life. This right here is a Kneeboard. I've been flying with a Kneeboard since I've been going through pilot training. What's really awesome about a Kneeboard is you keep all your flight information right here. I have a pretty set way of how I keep my forms on my kneeboard, between how I get the weather at an airfield, between the tactical scenario that's developing in a battle space or in a restricted operating zone. I'm able to write everything down, and I battle track with my kneeboard, whether it's getting grids from the Joint Terminal Attack Controller or whether it's keeping a time mark of an engagement. I'm able to then have a thorough set of notes, both for me to reference in flight as well as out of flight. If anyone asks me any questions of what occurred, I know exactly what happened using this kneeboard. I wouldn't go anywhere without it. You wouldn't be a pilot in the United States Air Force if you didn't have some set of cool glasses. We've got Oakleys here. These are the ones that I traditionally wear during flight, during the daytime. These are approved forms of glasses, and we have to specifically get these from our resource advisor in order to fly, to make sure that they are in fact legal to fly with. You'd be surprised on the cloudiest days, you break through the cloud layer and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of sun staring you in the eyes, and it makes it really tough to fly. So I really don't go anywhere without these ready at any point in time.
So you couldn't go to the mall and get some Oakleys?
You could. The one way to remain legal in the United States Air Force is make sure that you get these approved via the Air Force, so that you don't get yourself in trouble by flying with something you should be flying with. Additionally, right here, these are my dog tags. Not only are you legally required to fly with these per Air Force regulations, but also it is an incredibly important thing to have on you in the event anything goes bad, so that they can identify you, as well as at this point, they've become somewhat of a good luck charm for me. I always carry them in the same pocket in order to make sure that I'm ready. If at any time I forget that I'm flying with these, I know I'm a little bit more risky because I'm not following my normal procedure and standard in order to go fly prior to stepping. In our helmet, there are no noise canceling features, so you gotta make sure you bring some foamy earplugs. These are also great for whenever you're walking around doing your pre-flight inspection and the auxiliary power unit is running. I've spent a long career listening to very loud sounds, and the less that I have to hear that's loud, the better for me, both in terms of just my comfort, but as well as knowing that my next flight physical, someone won't tell me that I'm losing my hearing. And then these ones are the ones that I fly with. There are other versions. There's other ones that are molded into the ear that members of our squadron have. I just prefer the foamies. They fit the same all the time. Basically just take this one, and I know other people wear them different ways, but I pretty much put this guy in, crush it down a little bit, and you put it right into the ear like this. And at this point in my career, it's just an incredibly relaxing feeling to just zone out every other noise that's going around out there. As with anything in life, you should also stay well hydrated. So I always carry around this issued hydro flask. I've got all the stickers from all the squadrons I've been a part of in my life. And it's just a keepsake for me, not only to remember where I've been from, but also if I haven't filled this up before a flight, I make sure I do so immediately in order that I can stay hydrated, especially on exceptionally long sorties. You kind of just lose track of time, and if you don't have water, you'll quickly find yourself performing poorly. All right, this is more of a personal thing. I really like to fly with gum. I pretty much throw in a piece of gum right prior to starting engines and before we start checklists on the aircraft. This is just a way to calm me down and get myself in a rhythm to make sure I can execute it properly. It helps me think more clearly when I'm chewing on gum. I'll probably go through 4 or 5 pieces on a flight, depending on the length. It reminds me, hey, I should be drinking water, I should be having food. But on top of that, it just helps keep me calm and, more importantly, keep me in a rhythm. You kind of notice good crews running a good rhythm, so I don't want to say that the gum is the metronome that runs that machine, but maybe it is. I wouldn't be in the military if I wasn't pushing some form of energy drink. I personally drink Red Bull, sugar-free. This is kind of the go-to for me for night lines, especially when you find yourself lagging a little bit. You never want to be behind the aircraft. So usually crack one of these open probably halfway through a sortie in order to get the rest get through the rest of the flight safely. Obviously, this is for when you're not wearing the O2 mask. Unfortunately, there's just no way to get Red Bull into your mouth while you're wearing your mask, so you have to be deliberate about, hey, making sure you have your Red Bull at the correct time of flight to make sure you're still energized for the entirety of the sortie. And then this right here is the helmet bag. This is the first patch that I ever got whenever I got to Air Force Special Operations Command, so I just kind of wear it on my bag as a reminder of back when I was Lieutenant Feeney, learning how to fly the gunship. But I pretty much keep everything that I need inside of this bag, to include other items such as flashlights, reflective belts. Anytime you're not in the aircraft at night, need to be safe, or just follow regulations that the Air Force requires you to follow. And this is everything that I take with me when I go fly an AC-130J. It's notorious within the aircraft commanders in the AC-130 community that we all have bad backs after we retire as a result of that weird head pivot motion, and these things are not light, especially given that their moment arm is fairly far away from the neck. So there's that.